coach
The
demands
first
a
half
lot
is
of
done
his
in
players.
Denton, Texas. Right now, Old Dominion is playing in their last regular season road game against the Mean Green. Welcome to the ASN studio. I'm Ashley. This is the second meeting between UNT and ODU. The first game, ODU beat UNT 61-50, but the Monarchs haven't fared well in Texas, losing to both UTSA and UTEP earlier this month. UNT is hoping that same streak will continue in the second half of this game before they head on the road to play the Miners and Roadrunners. Time to take a look at what other games we have coming up on ASN. Next up, we have Big Ten hockey on the schedule. ASN is in Columbus, Ohio. Penn State and Ohio State are dropping the puck in Value City Arena. The Buckeyes and Nittany Lions are in their fourth and final meeting of the season before the Big Ten tournament. At 8, we have more basketball. Northeastern is at the College of Charleston. Northeastern is battling William and Mary, James Madison, and UNCW for the regular season title. Our last game is a late one out in Seattle. We're in the WAC. CSU Bakersfield is going to Seattle U. Tip-off is at 10:30. For highlights and recaps of our ASN games, go to our website, americansportsnet.com. You can also follow our Facebook and Twitter accounts, Live on ASN, for live updates. Up next, he's an expert on ASN basketball, and he's here to enhance your basketball IQ. Mark Adams is on with topics on our ASN basketball conferences. Welcome back to Halftime on ASN. Thanks for sticking with us during the break. Being an athlete, you take bits and pieces of things you learn from coaches to shape your game. You take what works best for you, and you mold it into something new. The same goes for coaching. Coaches are constantly taking components from other coaches and implementing them into their game plan. Earlier in the season, we caught up with Coach Jeter and Coach McCallum to ask them about their biggest coaching influences.
It's 40 minutes of basketball. That's all it is. That's all it is. And you want to go out there and have some fun, play together, all that stuff.
What fellow coaches had the most influence in your coaching career and how?
Well, that's an easy one for me. I played college ball for Coach Ryan. I coached with him I spent about 15 years with Coach Bo Ryan, the head coach at Wisconsin. So a lot of what we do is all the philosophies that he taught me as a player and as a coach. So as a fellow coach, Coach Ryan would be one of the guys that I take some of the things that he does. I might tweak it a little bit, but he's a mentor of mine.
It's going to be a war out there today. It's going to be a war out there today. The bullets are going to be flying.
I tell you, I have to go back to my high school coach, Bill Harrell, from the state of Kentucky. He won 2 state championships in Kentucky, and he won 3 in Indiana. I played for him there. I was on 2 state championship teams, and he was a guy that would go to 8-out rough practices and really knew the fundamentals of the game. And I give him a lot of credit for stressing the fundamentals with me and helping me develop as a player.
Knowing everything else, they're going to switch. And it's not just ball screen.
You were a young player yourself. Was there a mentor outside of your immediate family that made a difference in your career?
Oh, absolutely. There was a young priest by the name of Father Mike. Wild man. I mean, I know that's hard to say, priest and wild man, but that's exactly what he was. He was very influential. He was my wrestling coach, my track coach, my flag football coach, and then he ended up being my guidance counselor in high school. So he was my coach in grade school, left us and went to a high school. We followed him to that high school. Very talented guy. Stories about him with track, it was incredible. He had an old Caprice Classic. He'd tie ropes to the back of his car, and he would drag us around the track to increase our speed. I don't think you can do that nowadays. I think he'd get in trouble. But he was innovative and a lot of fun.
I tell you, I was fortunate enough to really learn the game of basketball from the Level family. Alan Level played in the NBA for 10 years, and me and his younger brother, Ricky, we played in this bedroom with socks. We balled up socks and put a hanger on the door, and we did that every day. And from there it grew to going outside and playing and working on our game, and just being around his family. They had great passion for the game, and that's when I fell in love with the game.
In Coach McCallum's 17 years of coaching, he's had 6 postseason runs, including an NCAA and NIT appearance with Detroit. Coach Dieter has become the second winningest coach in Panther history. He's led his team to 4 postseason appearances, including 2 in the NCAA tournament. We'll see how their coaching styles go up against one another in the second half of this game. Time to send you back out to the guys in Detroit after this. Halftime in Norfolk, and there's your score. Louisiana Tech has traveled up from the Bayou to take on ODU. La Tech is in a heated battle with Western Kentucky, UAB, and UTEP for the top spot in the conference standings, but the Monarchs are still in the hunt. Welcome to the ASN studio. I'm Ashlea Bullington. Speaking of the hunt, both teams feature sharpshooters leading them on the hardwood. For La Tech, it's Raheem Appleby who's leading the team in 4th in Conference USA in scoring. Averaging just over 16 points a game, the 6'4" senior is not afraid to drive it to the net. Right behind Appleby in scoring is the Monarchs' Freeman. The junior guard is leading the Monarchs to one of their best seasons in program history. The second half is going to be a good one here on ASN. La Tech is trying to fulfill their preseason promise that they will dominate conference play. And ODU is tough to beat in the Ted Constant Convocation Center. Speaking of good basketball, we have even more games coming up for you on ASN. We stay with Conference USA. Southern Miss goes to Charlotte to take on the 49ers. And the SoCon Chattanooga hosts Eastern Tennessee. The Mocs are trying to catch up with Wofford to win the regular season title, but the Buccaneers are not far behind. Tipping off at 9 on ASN, we're out in the WAC. It's New Mexico State and Grand Canyon in the battle of bordering states. We have a lot of events going on here at ASN. For a full schedule, go to AmericanSportsNet.com. You can also keep up with games by following our social media accounts. Our handle's live on ASN. Don't touch that remote, because up next, our resident basketball guru's on with his insight on our ASN basketball conferences. That's your score in the UCC Center. UMKC has hopped into Orem to play Utah Valley for a WAC conference matchup. This is the first of 2 games between the Roos and Wolverines. Welcome to the ASN studio. I'm Ashlea Bullington. Martez Harrison has been a star for UMKC. Harrison leads the WAC in steals, averaging 2 per game. He's the second in the league in scoring and assist. The 5'11" sophomore guard has been the leading scorer in almost all of UMKC's games. And even though he isn't the biggest player on the court, he's second on the team in offensive and defensive rebounds. Harrison had a career-high 26 points in the Roos' biggest win of the season against Mizzou. Tonight's matchup with the defending regular season WAC champions is going to be a tough one for UMKC. We have more basketball coming up for you tomorrow on ASN. Welcome back to ASN's Halftime Show. I'm your host, Ashlea Bullington. In his 9th season coaching the Roadrunners, Brooks Thompson has led his guys to their first ever NCAA postseason victory in any UTSA sport, captured 1 league championship, made multiple appearances in the title game, and his players have broken more than 20 school records. He says he brought a new coaching style to the team that he picked up as a player.
Southern Miss in the backcourt, Agassi for the Roadrunners.
Conference USA has become a competitive basketball league. Players and coaches know that to win the title, it takes more than just talent.
Hunter on a breakaway, comes down the middle.
There's great coaches in our league, and it's not fun watching film before we play them, knowing that we're going to go play them, because they're great strategists, but they also have good players as well.
But the competition is something that Coach Thompson is excited to be a part of. The former first-round NBA draft pick in 1994 has had many coaching influences.
But then, Bill Self, being an assistant there, was, I still get an opportunity to talk to him and try to learn from him as much as I can. And then in my pro career, there's no doubt it was Jeff Van Gundy, who I still get to talk to and learn from.
Basket was good.
Even though coaches like Jeff Van Gundy have made a large impact on his coaching approach, none have been more significant than the man that was there in the beginning.
Well, there's no doubt it's who I played for in college with Eddie Sutton at Oklahoma State. He's definitely been the biggest impact on how I feel to coach, and I thought he was just a tough old man as a player, but then I went back and worked for him as a coach and really saw how much he cares about his players and how into everything he is and what a manager he is, and that really made an influence on me.
Taking what he learned from Coach Sutton, Thompson continues to use his hard-nosed but fair approach.
I think as a coach, you've always got to be as fair as you can to all players. It's just great. It makes you feel good as a player, and you want to do everything you can to give them everything you have.
We'll see how Coach Thompson's strategy works with the Roadrunners' 11 new players. That's all we have for now. Thank you for watching ASN's Halftime Show. We're sending you back down to the Riverwalk in San Antonio after this. There's your halftime score in Tudor Arena as the Mean Green have come down from Denton to Houston to play the Rice Owls. Hope you're enjoying today's matchup, and welcome to the ASN studio. I'm Ashlea Bullington. The Owls under their first season with head coach Mike Rhodes, who came from a successful Virginia Commonwealth basketball program. Coach Rhodes has brought with him a winning attitude to the Owls.
Sometimes when you come to a program and it's down on its luck, the players don't want to change or they don't care enough. That's not the case. These guys they've been awesome. They have been listening. They really care. They are changing the culture every day and demanding their teammates to change with them. And that's how you get to go somewhere where you're not sure you could have gone.
And it's the Mean Green's third season under head coach Tony Binford, coming from Marquette. These two coaches are looking to turn things around for their programs by not only winning a conference title, but making an NCAA tournament run.